Hello, my name is Alexandr Doronin, and today I want to present you my ideas about one of the key characters in the book The Handmaid's Tale, written by Margaret Atwood, Serena Joy, by Alexandr Doronin. So, the inquiry question of this presentation is Serena Joy a victim or not? It is an ambiguous question, and in my opinion, it is really individual answer, and every reader might think on themselves and opinion might differ from each other. So, first of all, we should start from the definition. So, how do we define the word victim? Again, in my opinion, this word is individual for everyone, and everyone has a particular meaning about this word due to our personality, moral principles, and just general knowledge and surroundings. So, for example, in my opinion, victim is a person who is oppressed or repressed or being abused, so that who has less than deserves. And this word can be connected to the Serena Joy. We will see it. So let's start from the basic information about Serena Joy. So who is she? She is a commander's wife. She is one of the most influential women in the Gilead society, so she doesn't need to work due to her status because she is commander's wife. She is above all other women in the hierarchy of Gilead. Also, there is an ambiguous moment about her power because on the one hand she is on the top of hierarchy, but on the other hand she doesn't have any responsibilities. So this makes an ambiguous effect on the reader, and they don't know is she powerful or not. Also, she is religious and conservative. She was one of the leaders of the Gilead regime at the beginning of the establishment, and she participated in the establishment. So when reader starts to read the book, their first impression about Serena Joy is that she is a woman of high status. She lives comparatively good, especially if we compare it to women or to ordinary handmaids or even Marthas. She has a much better life, more devices, more freedom, more opportunities. She is not oppressed or being used, and so in the beginning, on the surface, we can see that she is not a victim in the beginning of the book. But in my opinion, everything changes afterwards. So Serena Joy's position in the hierarchy of Gilead society, as we can see on the beautiful diagram on the right corner, is that wives are located on the top and near from the commanders, so they're really high status. We can see that all other roles are much lower in the society, but there is no connection between wives and lower status people because everything goes to the commander. Because wives, as was mentioned previously, are not really powerful, they are just getting benefits from their position, but there is no responsibility for them and no actual control. Everything is controlled by the male commander. Uh, so also we can see that she doesn't need to work in comparison to other people because she just the wife of the commander. That's all her duty in her life. Uh, let's go through the different relationships with different characters. For example, uh, relationship with commander. On the surface, we can see that no love is left. She has no choice. It is more duty than feelings because she just understands that she cannot be divorced and she will lose her status, and just it's impossible in the society due to its culture and traditions. So she needs to be married to the commander, and it's became like a habit. However, in chapter 41 on page 273, line 21, we can see a quotation. How could you be so vulgar? I told him. Serena Joy told it to the commander. That provides the idea that she still has feelings and she's jealous about cheating with Offred. So we can see that maybe she still loves him, because if she didn't love and didn't feel any emotions about it, she would not react in this way after that such bad news. So it's an ambiguous case, and in this case we can see that there is no but that she is not a victim yet. So next slide is about relationships with Offred. Uh, this is much more ambiguous and much more complex. We can see that Serena Joy is much higher status and much higher in the hierarchy than Offred, because Serena Joy is a wife while Offred is a handmaid. Also, the main duty of the Offred is to give a birth to a commander. So because of that, Serena Joy is jealous. And the quotation, it may or may not be a revenge, in chapter 16, where in this chapter was described the sex scene. We can see that Serena Joy is really jealous and maybe was trying to somehow hurt Offred to show Offred real emotions, what she feels about it. Because Serena Joy has to participate in this act, which is disgusting for the both Offred and Serena Joy. Furthermore, Serena Joy is being cheated. So, sentence, which of us is it worse for, her or me, says Offred in the same chapter, because she provides the idea that, yes, she needs to sleep with the commander. I'm talking about Offred. But on the other hand, Serena Joy needs to participate in this act also, and she sees that she is being cheated. So it is really hurts her, and maybe because of that, she is as she is. I mean, in terms of personality. Also, we can make a references. And also, we can see that in this case, she is really a victim of this victim. She is a hostage of the situation, because she cannot do anything about it because she has no power, but she has to participate and just understand it from the logical point of view. We can make references to another book, for example, a book Blood Wedding, and the character Bright. Actually, they have a low amount of similarities. However, there are many polar opposite differences. So there are two posters of them, and similarities that both are connected to the theme of family, because one of them is already married and another is planning to marry. So this connects to the idea of husbands, bridegrooms, so a family context. And the difference is that, first of all, it's obvious age, because Serena Joy is much older than a bride. Serena Joy is already married for many years, while Bride is just planning to do it. And Serena Joy was cheated when Bride was cheating. It's a polar opposite uh, situations, and we can see that Serena Joy is a victim in this case, in this way, while Bride is a bad, negative character, gloomy character in these terms, because she is cheating. Also, we can make references to real world, because actually, when Margaret Atwood was writing book, it was the time of second wave feminism. So, she also maybe she was inspired by a real world situation. So, Selena Joy is being represented as both a weak woman who cannot do anything without her husband's approval, because she has no power, and she like even doesn't even work. And also it contains with the real world, where men and women have had different rights in the past, and maybe in some countries or cultures it is still present that men have higher status than women and have more opportunities and more freedom. And also we can see that even if they start on the same point, it is much easier for a man to achieve more than for a woman, because the only way, for example, in Gilead society, to achieve something for a woman and be on the top level of the hierarchy is just to marry a high status man, in this case a commander. And this beautiful caricature provides the idea that uh, men have more power in general due to social culture. Which in this case also provides the idea that Serena Joy is a victim and a hostage of the situation because she cannot do anything about it. So maybe she feels her soul is empty about it because she cannot do anything about it. So it's a disappointment for her. It's a miserable situation. And so let's come back to the our main point: is Serena Joy a victim or not? There are many arguments for both sides. For example, that she was being cheated and even participated in it, which doubles her negative emotions. Also, her baby wouldn't be her biologically because Offred gives a birth to a child with a commander. Also, on the other hand, Serena Joy exploits Offred to have sex with Nick by allowing her to see a picture of her lost daughter. It shows that Serena Joy always knew about Offred's daughter, but uses this knowledge in her interests. It is dirty behavior. I'll explain this idea because we can see that uh, Serena Joy is a victim. However, in the close to the end of the book, she was using Offred to have a sex with Nick, so she will avoid cheating. But the way to motivate Offred is by showing the picture of her child, which is a real trauma to the Offred, and she realizes that Serena J always knew about that picture but never told it before, and uses it only in her personal interests. So it provides the idea that Serena Joy is really selfish, and all her offers or her deals are, first of all, have her personal interest, which provides the idea about her selfishness. So there is a lot to consider, but I think that she is more a victim than not, because maybe if she was not exploited, was not cheated, was behaved respectfully, and she had the power and opportunities, maybe she would be kinder and did not use other people in her personal interest, and just would become a much more positive character than she is in the book. Has your opinion changed about Serena Joy? I hope my presentation was interesting for you. Thank you for listening. It was Alexandr Doronin. Goodbye.